Good morning. It's Ginny, Tim, and Eli
Hello.
at DS Tech in Escanaba, Michigan. We're going to ask a question. Why?
Yeah.
Why are businesses turning to MSPs? We
Yeah.
got a lot of good reasons, but what does MSP mean?
Well, do you want the real answer, the joke answer? I mean, which one?
Let's do the joke.
Salsa plate.
I do like margarita salsa.
Yeah. One of them was, what was it? Mystery Surprise Powwow. AI came up with some interesting answers here, but no.
Macaroni
MSP
sculpture
stands
party.
for Managed Service Provider. It's what DS Tech is. Most tech companies that
Come
used
to
to
the
be.
party.
Yeah, come to the party over here. We'll have a good time.
We'll
Managed
help
service
you.
party.
So yeah, typical IT was usually run by, back in the day, you had one or two IT people hired at your business. They could handle most of the day-to-day stuff. And every once in a while, maybe you brought in a consultant to work with them and whatever, but they would running all the operations day to day. Many small businesses now, though, are outsourcing their IT management to MSPs for cost efficiency. You usually get better service, better quality of service, and you get access to more specialized services that you wouldn't have had access to as your own individual small business, just to the sheer size of the MSP that is actually buying the services. So again, DS Tech internally, we used to be a traditional break fix company where your computer broke, we came over, we fixed it, and you're good to go again. So that's the traditional model of break fix. There's still a lot of companies that do that, but a lot of them are maturing into the MSP model, because the great thing with being an MSP is the idea is that you're preventing the break from happening in the first place. Because we have monitoring software on your servers, and we try to figure out if something's going to break before it breaks, and then ideally you're not actually.
It was like a firefighter response.
We were firefighters before, always just running around fixing fires constantly.
Which was stressful.
We're clear cutting the trees, so there's no fire to begin.
Yeah, now we're like
Exactly.
fire marshal.
Right?
Yeah.
We're avoiding the fire. We're saving time and saving money, by the way.
Right.
So, yeah.
So the big one is there's usually a cost advantage to an MSP. Traditionally, if you're hiring like 3 to 5 internal IT teams with all salaries, you're paying benefits, healthcare, all this other kind of stuff, is MSP is kind of more like a contractor. So usually you're going to save money hiring the MSP, as well as then you're getting the whole, team of specialized individuals where, you may have like 3 or 5 smart guys on your team running your computers, but now with an MSP, you've got 25 individuals for the same cost and that are more specialized. And then during a true emergency, we can get all hands on deck and really solve problems a lot faster if needed. So you do get
It's like a big
And
brain
we
trust.
still love working with your internal
and
people as well.
we'll get into that later too. Yeah, if you have
It's
internal IT
supercharged
co-managed,
your stuff.
and a lot of smaller businesses that never even had an IT
Yes.
team, you might have had the accountant install stuff, or this, Joe over here, he just knows
Playing the
computers, so
role.
he was kind of doing the backups or whatever it was. It's like there's a lot of people that had dual roles where IT was kind of like a sub role for them, but by hiring an MSP, now you have a specialized focused task force to make sure your IT is just up to par. Because unfortunately, with today's age, your business is more susceptible to attacks. Attackers are going crazy. I don't want to sell it with the fear of it, but that's just the way
it's
the world
the
is more
truth.
connected
Right.
and how we are. So having a good MSP will help your small business stay competitive, where maybe you'd be too scared to do a lot of online ordering or maybe upping to the next level because you're not familiar enough with the technology to take you there. So again, the cost savings advantage just on the sheer numbers of hiring staff versus hiring MSP. Usually the MSP is going to be a lot cheaper. Services, again, we do things like, backup data protection. We'll help you write incident response plans where if your systems go down, how is your process, your business continuity plan? If all your computers go down, do you have a plan in place to still operate with paper? And how long is it before that plan gets activated? If there's a fire, if there's a flood, different natural disasters, how do you operate? Different things like that, where if you don't have an official thing that you're practicing, it's like a fire drill. You don't want to be trying to practice the fire drill during the fire. You want to have it ahead of time before.
Yes.
Know what
before
to
people-
do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Know who to contact. And
Yep.
yeah.
So we do, good antivirus, cybersecurity, where we actually have the next level of antivirus that is usually paired with a security operations center. So not only do you have a antivirus on your computer watching everything, if something happens even at 2 a.m, there's a team of people that are watching these alerts 24/7 a day, and they can then alert us if it's severe enough to bring us in and stop the threat, or otherwise they can just nip it in the bud right away and then stop it before it goes. So having that advanced security, a lot of times as a small business with say 50 computers or less, you're not going to be able to buy this advanced security software, because a lot of times we need at least 1,000 computers or something before we'll even sell it to you. But by us being an MSP, we have access to that high grade, software, and we can then sell it to you at a price that's affordable, and then you would never even have access to these special features. So you have the same security as a 50-person company as like some of these larger, like Amazon and Google even, that are using the same super low security threats, using SentinelOne, ThreatLocker, some of the stuff that we use, the high security advanced tools, we can get to your company at a great price. We do software as a service management, so managing all your Microsoft licenses. If you've ever tried to dive into Microsoft licenses, that's a whole thing in itself to learn, right? So then
that's my job, and you know what? You don't want to learn it.
It's not very, and it changes every 3 months, right? Because
Right?
Microsoft. So
I have to ask the brain trust a lot,
yeah.
actually, because it changes constantly.
And so make sure you're getting the right licenses for your staff to perform their tasks, but overpaying for licenses you don't need and doing all that, that is a whole thing in itself. And that your MSP can help manage that for you. So now you don't even need to think about it. You're like, hey, we just got a new hire, John Smith. Can you make sure he's got his licenses? You send an email off and we take care of the rest. You don't got to try to do the configuration, the license assignment, purchasing, all that stuff. It can be really helpful. Again,
your bills are all in one place.
Yeah, exactly. You're not having like your Microsoft bill, this, that. You got one bill
So
from
much
the
easier
MSP,
to
and then
track
you
of.
pay it, and you're good to go. So yeah, that's actually a great point. Project work and consulting. So again, if you have network upgrades, migrations, new video surveillance systems, any sort of larger scale upgrade that you have going on, we can then help plan that to pick a time when it's less downtime and maybe do it in steps to be least disruptive and really help. We're used to doing large scale installs and things like that, so we can take that same practice that we have for the large companies who need redundancy to take it to the small ones and still upgrade your equipment to have state of the art and have it be clean and be upgraded with that as well. So, and then that's why the benefits of having a specialized team. We have network installers, we have security specialists, we have help desk people, we got people that know the phone systems, we got experts on backups, we got all these different people who are experts, and we can pull them all together on a large project for you. And now you're going to have such benefit, and the project will go real smooth by having that huge brain trust of all those people that normally you're not going to have a 20-person team, doing this project.
It takes the coordinating and the wondering where to start out of it.
Yeah, and then you as an owner, you're worrying about your day-to-day operations, your retail or whatever your business is. You don't have a lot of time to sit there and be like, well, I'm going to spend 16 hours and figure out this exact project, how we're going to implement it and do all this stuff. It's like, no, have the MSP figure that out. They'll come to you with the plan, sign off on it, and then you're off to the races at that point.
Leave you to what you're good at.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So again, the access to the expertise. The fast response times too is, if you got a team of like 3 to 5 guys or even just one guy or someone's having a dual role of IT, now what happens if your accountant's doing kind of the IT work and all of a sudden it's payroll week, but there's some systems down? It's like they got to try to figure out what's more important, where again, you leave them to do what they're good at, let us do what we're good at, and then we can work with you to kind of help that and fix things a lot quicker than if you just had one person who's trying to do it all. And then we also do co-managed as well. So if you actually are large enough to have internal IT already, it's not like you need to fire your staff and hire us.
No.
Like, we will work with them. And that's actually the best relationship I personally prefer when I work with, because I have like a direct contact with that company. I can work with all the time and kind of build a relationship with them. And then we, as the MSP, we don't like to just like keep all your keys and you can't access anything. If someone wants to self-manage various aspects of their IT infrastructure, we have no problem giving them access to the passwords, teaching them. We can upskill them, do all this kind of stuff, working with them, because if you think about it, if we actually train your IT staff to do a lot of these basic tasks, it frees up the work from us and everyone is just operating in a more efficient manner. So we have no problem helping your local IT upgrade, your upskill to the next level. And that's my favorite relationship,
100%.
because again, you build rapport with that person and it just makes the speed of
I can think of one in particular in my head that, he does all of the IT stuff in their company, but instead of having to dig in and figure out what licensing he needs, for example, he just emails me and I'm like, I gotcha. Perfect. This is what you need, because and even if I don't know, I have people that I can ask in the brain trust that know this stuff. And then exactly. They give me what I need and I have it for him. He doesn't have to waste time on that. He can keep working on their network or whatever, all the stuff.
Responding to moving the needle, like the help desk inside the company moving, and then not worry about the digging into critical, or say they're like, you know what, we're looking at a new system to do this type of task. Maybe we want to look at some new accounting software. Can you give me like 3 recommendations, and we'll stick our techs to look and review for your use case and give you some options, so he's not spending hours a day researching the different platforms, whether they'll work. I mean, if they have ideas, they can give us in the right direction, but we can do a lot of that
or
research.
how about when he goes on vacation?
Exactly. Then as an IT person, if you're
Or
an IT
sick,
person watching this, you
or
understand that stress of
flu.
like, oh gosh, there's a holiday. I don't want to get a call, blah, blah, you're on call. Like you can rest assured now knowing that the MSP is taking care of all that and actually gives your IT staff chances to take breaks and actually, have a more balanced work
Less
life.
burnout and less turnover.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You can breathe.
yeah.
That's for sure. So the fast, and then the co-managers we like to do, we already talked about that. And then again, IT collaboration, we like to work with that. And again, with our cybersecurity stuff, we have whole teams dedicated. And again, whether we'll watch the monitors and try to get in touch with you, we'll create the instant plan where if something were to actually happen truly malicious, we can respond to it really quickly, prevent it from spreading. All that can be done by working with staff, whether you have an internal IT or not, and just kind of working with the MSP over time. And as you work with us as our client, you're still the one that's telling us, what to do. We can suggest things, and maybe we will have certain things that we want you to do to meet certain standards because it's just for our liability purposes. It's best practices, but we're still essentially just a hired contractor for you, and we don't do anything where I don't think we do like year-long contracts. We're simply just month to month here.
Yeah, we're
so
month to month.
Yeah.
You can try us out. If you don't like us, that's it. You're not obligated to stay with us for 6 months or a year, things like that. So that can be a good thing for it. If you're curious about stepping into hiring an MSP, reach out, try it out, see what it's like. You'll see the benefits in a month, and I'd say it's probably over 90% people that try us don't just try us.
You
Nope.
don't stay in
Nope.
business from the 70s with
Yeah.
people.
And
We
so
have
again,
Clients that have been here a long time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Before the internet.
and just to reiterate again, all the various aspects that an MSP will handle, we got backups, advanced virus and threat detection, M365, your account monitoring, projecting and consulting work. We can maintain control while you're outsourcing it. You still remain in charge. We can help you with your strategic planning, all that kind of stuff. And then long-term benefits are just increased uptime and productivity. Again, the MSP will ideally, help your business get to that next level, become more efficient, so your staff can worry about maybe getting that extra sale, getting more clients, and growing your business and whatever it is, and not worrying about the IT. The IT should be a help and assistant to get you there, not something you're managing in addition to your existing tasks. Again, security and compliance is almost becoming required now, where a lot of times your cyber insurance is requiring you have certain, I guess, levels of, you have to be a safe driver before we'll even insure you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that in the IT world now, where before it was like everyone gets an insurance policy, no one cares. But what was happening is the insurance companies were paying all the time for all these ransomware events, all these security breaches, whatever. And so they're finally to the point like, well, we want you to at least have MFA enabled, and you need to have, backups. And there's a certain checklist that now insurance companies are basically forcing small businesses to say that they have. And I've seen it where if you lie on those forms and you need to do then an actual collection, they're going to deny it because, well, you said you had MFA enabled, but the attacker got in through, John Smith's account and there was no MFA on there. So we're not going to be liable for that. So you want to make sure that you're actually meeting those requirements on the forms, and we can definitely help get you there very easily. That's a very common thing we do with our clients too.
Sometimes those forms are really confusing.
Yeah, and if you're not an IT person, you're like, what does this even mean? I don't even know what, and that's fine. You reach out to us. We can help you through that. And we deal with it all the time.
Yep.
So in conclusion, the secret to outsourcing your IT without losing control is basically just partnering with an MSP. We will act as an extension of your team, and we can work with existing IT if they're already there, or work with a dedicated staff and upskill people if you want. I guess that's all I had.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So stop starting fires and putting them out. Let's just not have it be dry and ready to.
And one thing I actually really like, I'll add in addition to this too, is our ticketing system is pretty slick here too. Whenever you have an issue, and it creates an audit log of any time an event happened, we can go back, well, this happened before, and it makes repeated issues faster, as well as there's accountability to it, where anytime you put a request in, we're going to get to it no matter what. It's not going to be like a phone call where someone forgot about the phone call and now it doesn't get done. Having that ticketing system speeds up our dispatch, our workflow. It allows our techs to be more efficient, and that's definitely something that we've matured with as well over time. It's no longer you're like leaving notes on each other's desk to make sure you go over here and fix this today. That's not happening anymore. So.
I remember those days when we had paper tickets. Oh my gosh. That was not fun. But as a matter of fact, we have like the best response time.
Mm-hmm. One of the best in the industry if you compare other MSPs and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's only getting better with the more tools are improving, we're getting more efficient. We're starting to use AI to make workflows for tickets to get to the proper text faster. There's a lot of things coming down the horn in the next couple of years that are going to even speed that up better, I feel.
Yeah. We're always improving. We're always looking at ways to improve our services for you.
Yep.
So drop your questions, drop your comments, go to dstech.net if you want any of the help that we can provide. You can fill in the form and we'll get in touch with you. Make it a great day. See you next time.